37, and this is about the incarnation of Krishna, how he comes to protect his devotees. At the beginning of creation, he came. You don't have this verse, but you do have it on your chart here, and it tells who is the incarnation and about the essence of the verse. You appeared as Hyagreva with the head of a horse. You killed 2 demons known as Madhu and Kaitava, who were full of the modes of passion and ignorance, and you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your forms as transcendental, untinged by material qualities. So, Prabhupada talks about us. How does this relate to us? Prabhupada says, unfortunately, those entrusted with distributing Vedic knowledge, such as the devotees engaged in spreading Krishna consciousness, may sometimes be attacked by demons. Were any of you ever attacked by demons? Of course, there are different kinds of demons. There's the ones outside, and then there's the ones inside. Even if you didn't get attacked by the ones outside, it's quite possible you got attacked by the ones inside. And they're even worse. Yes, okay. But, rest assured, Prabhupada says, demonic attacks will not be able to harm them, for the Lord is always prepared to give protection. And then in the purport he says, if we read Bhagavatam and Gita, these 2 literatures, then we get all Vedic knowledge and we can revive our Krishna consciousness. And Krishna will give you all protection. Verse 38, we will sing together. You do have it on your sheet here. So I will sing one line and you can repeat after me. Itam nitya grishideva chasavatarai. Itam nitya grishideva chasavatarai. Lokam vibhavayasiham sijagat patipam. Lokam vibhavayasiham sijagat patipam. Dharmam mahapurushavasi yuganuvrittam. Dharmam mahapurushavasi yuganuvrittam. Channa kalaya dapavasti yuga tasatvam. Channa kalaya dapavasti yuga tasatvam. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations, as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you are known as Tri Yuga, or the Lord who appears in 3 yugas. So let's see how much you know about Krishna's incarnations. Here it says he comes as an animal. Who is this animal? What is his name? Varaha. Varaha, good. Okay, he comes as a great saint, and there could be so many. Kapila, good. Or Narada or Kapila. A demigod, that's probably Narada. A fish, Matsya, the tortoise, oh that's obvious. Okay, so he said in the last verse that he came as Hyagreva to protect Lord Brahma. He came as Nrsimhadev to protect Prahlad. So, who is coming for us? Yes, Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya. Yes, we're very lucky. We have both, and we have Krishna himself coming and also Ashakti Vaishavatar at the same time. Yes, we have Lord Krishna coming, Lord Chaitanya. Lord Krishna coming as Lord Chaitanya for us, the most merciful for the most fallen. So we deserve the most merciful incarnation because we are the most fallen and the most least deserving of everyone. We could never understand Kapila or these other incarnations. They would be too much above our head. So therefore, we are very fortunate to have Lord Chaitanya, who did not demand us like Krishna demanded. What did Krishna demand us to do? Surrender. First surrender, then I'll protect you. Lord Chaitanya, he didn't make any conditions. He just said, take all of God. In fact, there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that said he's chasing after the conditioned souls. He's chasing us to give us Krishna Prema. Such a merciful Lord, can you imagine? He's chasing us. And there's a verse that says that. We are chasing after Maya. We are chasing after the mirage. We heard about the mirage yesterday. This keeps going ahead of us. The mirage of happiness. And behind us, Lord Chaitanya is chasing us. Yes, please take. And Nityananda is chasing us. The devotees are chasing us. And that reminds me of a story of one devotee who was a soldier in Iraq, Parthasarthi Prabhu. He used to chase the soldiers to try to give them books. And one particular soldier was always running away, and whenever he saw him, he would go the other direction. But then he got a bomb hit his truck, and he was dying, and he said, okay, what's in your books? Please tell me. I must know. He was ready, and Krishna finally, at least, so even you may think that the people you're trying to distribute books to, they don't really want it, but the time will come. In fact, I just remember, somebody told me, I don't remember which country because I've been traveling a lot, perhaps it was in Ireland, probably in Ireland. There was one book distributor, he distributed a book to one man, and the man got the Bhagavad Gita, and his brother saw it, and he opened it up, he read one line, and he threw it across the room. He said, why are you reading this? Not, garbage, because he was an alcoholic, he was drunk all the time, and he didn't appreciate the Bhagavad Gita. But then this alcoholic, he had a near-death experience, and in his near-death experience, he went to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj was, saying to him, so, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? And then he remembered that line from the Bhagavad Gita, and he said the line, and he came back to consciousness. And he went back home, he read the whole Gita, and he joined immediately the temple. But then one day, they said after a few weeks or months, he got the urge to drink again, so he went back to the bar, and the whole day he was in the bar drinking. Then at the end of the day, the bartender closed the bar, and he said to him, what are you going to do now? And he got so scared he ran back to the temple. He was saying, the words were haunting him from Yamaraj. Imagine. So he probably said, even if they read one line, it can save their life. So here's the example of even if they read one line. So you can read one line to them. And when I have my god sister, who is a fantastic book distributor, she's been distributing for 40 years now, and she tries to read one line to them or get them to chant the holy name at least once. So then, in case they go in front of Yamaraj, they will remember that line. So just see how important these books are. Here's an alcoholic who became reformed by reading one line from Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada often said, if they just read one line, and he would quote one line. So who can tell me which line? It's a very interesting line. Prabhupada said, if they just know this one thing from Bhagavad Gita, they can be saved. It's from the second chapter, actually, Bhagavad Gita. One of the very first verses that he says, and he's talking about change of body. That's the line. Tata dehantara prapti, change of body. They're going to change their body. They don't realize they're going to change at the time of death. If they just knew this one line, they could change their life. This is the one line he emphasized. And he spoke on that verse many, many times. Maybe the most of all the verses in all his lectures was this verse from Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Chaitanya, he's very merciful. Devotees are also merciful, and we'll talk about that a little later. It's a mercy class today, so we all need the mercy. And we all need to give the mercy once we get the mercy too. So verse 39 you don't have, I will say. My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and lusty, being sometimes so-called happy and sometimes so-called distressed. My mind is full of lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. So one of these things may ring a bell with some of you. And this is Prahlad speaking, 5-year-old boy. Thus it has become most polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you. I am therefore most fallen and poor, and such a status of life, how should I be able to discuss your activities? So he's speaking for us, the problems of the mind, and he's talking about Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha, who knows what is the meaning of Vaikuntha?
Without fear.
Without fear. Kunta, without anxiety. Yeah, it's more specific, without anxiety, of course without fear too. But anxiety is the specific word. Now this world is kunta, full of anxiety. Full of anxiety. And Prabhupada said actually, the demons want anxiety. You know why? Because they create a situation that's very difficult, very complicated, and they have to get out of it. And when they get out of it, they become a hero. In the struggle for existence, they win the battle. And so that's why they want it, so that they can win the battle, the struggle for existence. In the struggle of existence, actually, nobody survives. As they say, survival of the fittest, but nobody survives. There are no survivors in this world. As they asked Srila Prabhupada, a reporter said, Swamiji, the death rate in India is so much higher than here in our country. So Prabhupada said, the death rate is 100% everywhere, as far as I know. So it's the same in your country as my country, 100%. Who survives? So anyway, full of anxiety. They want anxiety. And then they become heroes, they conquer it. One time Prabhupada got a letter from the temple president in Toronto, Canada. And they described to Srila Prabhupada a beautiful church for sale. And very expensive. And they said, well, you know, it's so expensive. Prabhupada said, yes, don't purchase anxiety. You will have to spend all your time just trying to make money. Then he came to Toronto, and the devotee said, well, Prabhupada, maybe you'd like to see the church we wanted to buy. So they took him into the church, and Prabhupada said, this is amazing, you must purchase this immediately. And the TP said, but Prabhupada, you said don't purchase anxiety. He said, there must be anxiety for Krishna. And so sometimes he would say opposite things, actually. So that temple is still, that church is still there. Beautiful church, beautiful old church, very huge, right in the main highway, in the main street in the city of Toronto. If you go there, and there's huge Hare Krishna letters everybody has to see when they come on the street. Beautiful. And now they just, I think they're having, or they had a Rath Yatra ceremony there just now. So anxiety must be there for Krishna. We heard the problem, this is the problem of the mind. Now the problem of the senses is described in verse 40. My dear Lord, O infallible one, you don't have it. My position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. So now people have many wives, but not all at the same time. They have one after the other. But just imagine if you had them all at once, or if you had many husbands. I mean, they also have many husbands now, not all at once though. So one is tugging you, let's go this way. So the tongue is one, let's go taste this. The eyes are another, let's go this way. And so all our senses are taking us in different directions. Very difficult situation. So all of us are having this problem, both men and women, that our senses are taking us in all different directions. And of course our mind tries to follow the senses, but it doesn't know which sense to follow. And so this is the problem of material life. As we talked about it yesterday, we've fallen into a well full of snakes. And the snakes are our senses. Only way to, Prabhupada says at the end of the purport, last sentence, the only method of controlling the senses is to chant. Very good. And hear the holy name of Krishna. This is how we will control our senses. So tonight we get a good chance in the kirtan. I think it starts at 4 or 5 o'clock. 4:30. So you'll be able to control your senses tonight, and hopefully it will remain in your consciousness for the rest of your life. You will go back and today I saw on Facebook a video of the kirtan of Loknath Maharaj the first night, and some devotees were dancing very wildly. It was quite nice, beautiful kirtan. So yes, tonight again, and I'm sure last night was also just as good. And also another way to control the senses, Prabhupada recommends deity worship. Chanting Hare Krishna and deity worship. That is very, very important. Verse 41, Prahlad Maharaj is begging mercy for everyone. Mighty Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. Did you know there's a river of death? It's called the Narayani river. And we are on this side of the river of death, and the Lord is on the other side. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we've fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. It sounds like not only are we on the side of the river, we're in the river too at the same time. Big river. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering. And by your causes, mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. So we have the order again. Prabhupada over and over again gives us Lord Chaitanya's order, Jari Deko Tarikoho Krishna Upadesh. Whoever you see, tell them about Krishna. Amar Agya Guru Hoya Tara Edesh. And my order, you become Guru and save this land. So what is the message we should give everyone? Does anybody know? He did quote a verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is the message that we should tell everyone we meet. Good. Sarvadharma Parityajya Mamikam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all your ideas of religiosity and just surrender to me. So this is the prayer of Lordship of Krishna, actually Krishna's order. Krishna's calling us, and so therefore we want to follow the order of Lord Chaitanya. And verse 42, O my Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, original spiritual master of the entire world, what is the difficulty for you who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service? So now he's begging for us. You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore I think you will show your causeless mercy to persons like us who engage in your service. So now he's telling Lord Nrsimhadev, you are God. For you it's not a problem to deliver all the suffering people. So please do that. But of course he's asking him that, it's up to you. He doesn't demand, you should save all these people. Just like Srila Prabhupada, when he came to America, he wrote a poem. And he said, these people are hopeless. They're in ignorance. They're in passion. How can I deliver them? He said, but by your causeless mercy, you can make my words very powerful and pure, and they will hear them, and they will be delivered. And so he was saying, if you desire, it can happen. Just like the prayer we had for Srila Prabhupada when he was very sick in 1974. Prabhupada told us how we should pray to Krishna for his health. He said the prayer was like this: if you so desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. He didn't tell us to demand from Krishna, okay, Prabhupada's sick, you should cure him.
What was the problem Prabhupada had said before at that time?
That time, I'm not quite sure. It was heart, it was everything. He was like, his health was failing very badly, and we had to start 24-hour kirtan in every temple, I remember. Because I was on the night shift in Calcutta, and Calcutta temple, weren't so many devotees, so we had to do 24-hour kirtan, and we had to say this prayer to Krishna.
What time of the year, do you remember?
74, maybe in the summer, like around Janmashtami. I think Srila Kirti talks about it in his book. You can find out about that. Yeah, so he gave us this prayer, if you so desire. But then after he said that in his poem, when he first came to America, after, if you so desire, then Prabhupada said, I desire, Madhika delivered. So that has a whole nother meaning. Because we heard yesterday, if the devotee desires or says something, it must happen. So therefore Prabhupada desired that we be delivered. Therefore we're being delivered. Prabhupada had the desire that all of us become devotees. And that's why it's happening. And now Prahlad Maharaj, he will also say, now he's leaving it up to Krishna, but later on, the next few verses, he will say his desire in relation to the suffering people. And you do have, oh wait a minute, in the purport there's a very important sentence, and it's all about servant of the servant. This is verse 42. The more one becomes servant of the servant, the more one becomes perfect in devotional service. Okay, another reason why to be servant of the servant. The more you're servant of the servant, the more you become perfect in your devotional service. This is also the injunction of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's see if you know Bhagavad Gita. Where in Bhagavad Gita does it talk about being servant of the servant? Now, if you think about the reasons why it's better to be servant of the servant, then you'll know more, because we did come across this reason. It's one of our reasons, and it's in Bhagavad Gita. Yes?
Well, there is one verse where it says you should approach the spiritual master and serve him and inquire.
Okay, it's in the same chapter, yes?
There's no servant more that means the one who...
Oh, that's a nice one too.
preaches to the world.
Okay, great. There's another one.
What did it tell me?
Now he said that there's no one more dear to me than he who preaches to my devotees. So that's servant of the servant. That's good, we're getting more verses here.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada has another one, and that is Evam Parampara Praptam Mimam Raja Shayo Vibhu. That Parampara means you're servant of the servant. If you're taking initiation from the Guru, from the spiritual master, that means you're being servant of so many servants of Krishna. In Parampara, 30, 40, 30-something servants already. So this is, again in the purport, he says, one must become the dog of a Vaishnava. Again and again. For a pure devotee can deliver Krishna without difficulty. Krishna is the property of the devotee, and if we take shelter of the devotee, he can give us Krishna. So, again, we don't go to Krishna directly. Now verse 43, you do have 43 and 44 are the essential verses of the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, and they give us the attitude of the pure devotee, the preacher. And these verses also describe Srila Prabhupada as well. Verse 43, we will sing together. I will sing one line and repeat after me. Naivo DJ Paradaratya Vaitaranyas. Naivo DJ Paradaratya Vaitaranyas. Tvad Viryagaya Namaham Nachita. Tvad Viryagaya Namaham Nachita. Shacheta Vimukacheta Sa Indiyata. cetasa indriyata maya sukhaya paramupato vimurhan maya sukhaya paramupato vimurhan. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I'm simply concerned with love for them. So here we have Maya, Sukhaya, Bharam. Maya, we all know what is Maya. Maya Sukhaya, the happiness of this material world. Bharam is a burden. Why does he say the happiness of this world is a burden? How can it be a burden? How can happiness be a burden? Is that possible? Yes.
You have to work hard.
You have to work hard, okay? Maximum time is given for your job. You have to work hard, and then the weekend, the happiness, what do people do? They sleep, they drink alcohol, and that is their happiness, to forget the misery of the rest of the week, when you have to work hard for their happiness. So this is the happiness of this world. Any other reasons? Why is it a burden?
It binds you.
It binds you to this material. It's a chain. The happiness of this world is a chain that binds you. Just like when Raghunath Das Goswami was trying to running away from home to join Lord Chaitanya, and the mother and father were saying, "Oh, we have to get some guards and chain him." And the mother said, "You know, look at, he's already got these chains of a beautiful wife and so much money. And is that, what are these other chains going to do? These are the chains of this material world." Yes?
The taste of material happiness is not the same as in the advertisement.
Oh, yes.
As a result, you actually get depressed because it's
Yes,
not
yes.
what was
It's-
promised.
It's the promise of happiness that is given in this world. Only the promise. You get a little bit maybe, but not really. It's only the promise, and that's why it's called a mirage in the desert. There is a mirage in front of you, promising happiness, but the mirage keeps moving in front, and even if you catch it, it evaporates. Where's the happiness? Where was it actually? It must be something here. Some happiness must be here, but actually no, it's because the soul is starving. The soul is not happy. The soul is starving for want of spiritual food. And as long as you don't feed the soul, then you cannot be happy. If the soul is unsatisfied, then the happiness will always elude you. Okay, so I have an example of the burden of anybody else. Okay, before we just get any other examples of the burden of happiness in this world? Yes.
Yeah, it's such a distraction. It takes up our awareness. We can't really hear that message.
It's a distraction from the real message, and it's depressing. The burden is depressing. Yes?
And it ends.
And it ends. Yeah, it ends. It must come to an end. And we're looking for eternal happiness because the soul is eternal. Not only that, we deserve eternal happiness, and we're meant to have eternal happiness, and that's why we're not satisfied here. That's the proof that the soul exists, because we're not satisfied with temporary happiness. Yes, so therefore, we want to go back to Godhead, where we can have eternal happiness that is always increasing, more and more. Anandam Mudi Martanam. So one time, my son Govinda, when he was 10 years old, I have a lot of examples from real life. He and his friend Sudama, they were in my house, not my house, but where we were staying in Vrindavan. And there was this really big ant. We have many kinds of species in Vrindavan of insects. And this one